Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Chef Justin Thompson. Welcome to my home. This is my daughter Isla Rose, munching on some chocolate there. Chocolate always brings out the smiles, right kiddo? All right. So today we're going to be making some dinner for you on behalf of Philbrook Museum. And tonight we're going to make some pork tenderloin, mustard crusted with some fresh herbs, some Brussels sprouts, and then a fresh apple salad. And Isla's going to be my little sous chef tonight, aren't you? And to start us off, we need to pick some herbs. So a few weeks ago, about a month ago, we planted some herbs in our garden out back, and we thought we'd go clip some to get us started with this apple salad. So you ready to go? Mm-hmm. Let's go, kiddo. Okay, so here we are. We're going to grab some herbs here out of our little garden. Isla, will you do some clipping for me? Mm-hmm. Okay, right down there. Good.
Hey, you didn't say action.
You're right. I didn't say action. I forgot. Clip right here. Let's get a little bit more. This is, what is this, Isla?
Parsley.
That's right. And clip down there. That should be good on parsley. Now let's get a little bit of this mint, okay? So let's get this one right here. Can you cut right there? There you go. All right, you ready to cook? All right, and we're back. We've got our fresh herbs here. I've got our parsley, and I'm gonna pick that a little bit. We're gonna chop this up. Got some fresh mint. Isla's ready to go. She's excited for this. And here we go with our fresh mint. How do you feel about fresh herbs?
I can't wait.
Can't wait. Sounds good to me. So we got our fresh herbs. Now, will you scrape that off in our bowl? Perfect. I'm going to cut up some apples, and while I do that, will you squeeze some orange juice into there for me?
Orange juice?
Yeah, squeeze that orange. All the juice needs to go in there. And I'm going to cut up some apples here. So we're making a fresh apple salad here. I like something fresh and raw to go along with, cooked meat sometimes.
My toy.
Oh, well here, let's set this right over here. She won't get juicy. No big deal. Can you help, please, put these apples in there? Thank you. What'd you do?
Well, I wanted to slide them in.
There you go.
But I couldn't.
Yeah? Okay. Now, we mix all those up. While you're doing that, I'm just going to throw in just a touch of salt. And I'm going to throw in some pepper. A little bit of pepper. Good. All right. Last thing we need, a little bit of honey. What do you say?
I want to do the honey.
Well, grab that. Squeeze. That is about all we need. You know what, Isla? I think you were right about the orange juice. Now that I look at it, I think we need a little more. Will you squeeze just a little more in there?
Just a little or a lot?
Let's see. Oh.
I can't really.
Here, let me cut it for you. So you can squeeze it a little better. What do you say? Squeeze that one. That should be enough after that one. Perfect. Good job. All right, so we got our fresh apple salad almost done. Just need to toss this up together. We're going to let it sit, kind of marinate, while we get to our Brussels sprouts and our pork tenderloin. So we'll see you over the stove in a minute. We're going to start off with our pork tenderloin. So what I have here is a full little pork tenderloin here. Trimmed it up a little bit, just taking off some of the silver skin, some of the fat on the outside. And now I'm going to season it. Put a little herb mustard on there. I've got this wonderful mustard that I got from Atelier, which is one of Jean-Charles Boisset's concepts, one of our friends at Philbrook, so I thought I'd use that. I've got some fresh rosemary that we picked, all minced up, some salt and pepper, and just a touch of cumin. So here we go. First off, let's get the pork all ready to go. So I'm going to start with some of the herbs and the seasonings. Salt, pepper all over, just like so. We're going to go with our rosemary, fresh rosemary all over this, all sides. Kind of roll it around. You can do this on a cutting board or a plate or whatever you want. I've got a little bit of cumin here. Just going to hit that on the outside. Okay, so we have this wonderful garden herb mustard from our friend here. We're going to put just a big old daub of that on there and just kind of rub it all around. Now this is something that you can do. You can do this mustard stuff. You can do this, a few hours in advance. Let it marinate if you want. For this application, I'm just going to go with it. So we got this right here, all over. And there we go. So what I've got here is one of my cast iron skillets. I'm just going to throw a little bit of oil in here, a little high heat oil. This is avocado oil. And want to get a good sear, good crust on this here. So we're going to let that oil heat up a little bit. While we're waiting for that to heat up, got some other things that we're going to need here. I'm going to throw a couple of cloves of garlic in there because I kind of like just, throwing it in there, letting it cook, still in the paper, so that way after it gets out of the oven, because we're going to finish it in the oven, these garlic cloves will be nice and roasted and soft, and I like eating those, little side treat for myself. And lastly, we've got a little bit of chicken stock here. You can use vegetable stock, or if you have pork stock. Just something to, after we've seared the pork, we're going to throw that in there to kind of steam the pork a little bit, kind of speed up the cooking process and help it out in the oven, okay? So, get a couple of these ready to go. So, I think our oil is about ready to go. I'm going to take our pork tenderloin here, and we want to put it in the pan away from us, so that some of the oil doesn't splash up and get us in the face. Yes, it is a little bit loud, isn't it? Get this out of the way here. So a lot of people talking about browning of things to be like caramelization. That's true when it comes to sugars. When it comes to meat proteins, when you brown them, it's called the Maillard reaction. So a little bit different, but same kind of concepts. We're trying to do the same thing. That browning that will add a lot more flavor, depth of flavor to the pork that we've got. And it should kind of like crust on this mustard really well too. So the herbs will get nice and brown, and we'll end up with a great product. So it's going to take about a minute or two on each side, and want to get all sides. So, this might take a good 6 to 8 minutes, something like that. Just turning as you go, and make sure you don't touch it too often. Down here, you'll see a little white ring right here around the edges. And as that creeps up the side, you'll be able to tell about when it's ready to flip. So at this point, definitely time to flip. All right. Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and take it off this heat here, because the residual browning on the outside, that's going to give me everything I really need here, okay? So that's about where I want it to be. And now I'm going to throw in some of our stock.
Maybe a little too much.
I'm looking at the steam, and I'm thinking about I'm not using our vent fan. I don't want to set off the smoke detectors. We'll see. So here we go. All right. Now, Isla.
Smoke, I want to catch the smoke.
Well, here, get it. You get it?
No, I'm not getting it.
Well, it's hard to catch smoke, don't you think? All right. So here we've got our chicken stock ready to go. Now, Isla is going to throw in.
Catching the smoke.
Yes, you are.
I love catching the smoke.
Okay. Now it's your turn. Grab the garlic. Grab the garlic, and let's throw them into this pan. Can you do that for me?
Mm-hmm. Is it going to burn me?
Well, if you touch it, it will burn you, but let's not do that, okay? Let's just drop it in there. Just kind of toss them.
Just one?
No, all of them. Done. Perfect.
One.
Well, we'll get it, right? No big deal. Boom. Okay, now let's cook this thing in the oven. While that's in the oven, we're going to work on our Brussels sprouts, and then we'll come back and we'll assemble everything. It'll be a beautiful little dinner. Okay, we're back. We're cutting up some Brussels sprouts here. Got my trusty Sous Chef by my side. We're about at the end of her shift. So we've got our Brussels sprouts, and what I'm doing is I'm just cutting off the root end and then cutting them in half, and that's just to prep them up. Now these are a little on the small side, well, small to medium. Sometimes I would blanch them. Since this is home cooking, I'm just gonna saute them up and just brown them up in the pan, which will end up with a nice result in the end. So I've got them all cut. Now I am going to remove sort of the outside leaves. So I've got this nice nugget of Brussels sprout right there. So we're going to mince up some of the shallot to put in with our Brussels sprouts because it's delicious, right? So.
I'm watching you.
Perfect. Now, we've got our shallots, we've got our Brussels sprouts. Let's go cook them up. We've got our cast iron skillet here. We've got it on medium high heat. We need to throw in a fair amount of butter. So Isla, got a big old chunk cut. Grab that. Thank you. Lift it up into the pan. Perfect. That's a lot of butter, isn't it? Now with that butter, yeah, we're gonna throw in just a touch of oil too. That's gonna help raise that smoke point just a little bit. Yeah, just a little oil. So we're gonna melt this down. Melt this down.
Already melting.
Yeah, of course. Now, when it gets down to completely melted and all the white kind of turns to light brown and dissolves a little bit.
And turns into white bubbles.
Yep, white bubbles. And then after the white bubbles is when we want to put in the Brussels sprouts, right?
That looks like tasty butter.
It's definitely tasty butter. You kidding me? All right, so we're getting close here with our butter. We're just trying to brown this butter a little bit, bring out some of those flavors. There we go. That's good and bubbly. I think that's about time to start. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to pour those in.
You want to put these in here?
Yep.
Okay, so let me move this closer and don't touch this, right? Go ahead and pour these, just dump them all in real good. There you go. Perfect. Wonderful. Now, the first thing that I like to do when I get my Brussels sprouts in the pan is turn them all over so the cut side is down. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One is to brown them evenly. And the other reason is, you know, they're porous on the cut side. So what you're doing is you're kind of like steaming them from the inside to kind of cook them evenly. And as we get popping, we'll just knock that back down to about medium. Make sure all these are turned over. So you can see dark green, you know, kind of bleeding into the lighter green. So the lighter green indicates it's still not really cooked. Darker green indicating it's cooked more, got a little more moisture being pulled out of it. So I'm going to check these. You can see I'm getting a nice light brown right there, which is great. I'm close to being able to flip these over. And what I'll do, instead of flipping them individually, at this point, I will take them and I will kind of toss them a little bit together and, you know, just kind of let them saute the rest of the way on all sides. And I'll also season them with some salt and pepper and add the shallots in at the very last too. We don't want to burn the shallots, kind of like garlic, you know, you don't want to take it too far. Nice light brown, which is why it's the last thing that goes in. So we're going to let these cook for another minute and we'll toss them up. Should be ready to go. What do you think, Isla?
Nice.
Nice. Yeah?
I love it.
Okay, here we are with our Brussels sprouts in the pan and they're starting to get brown. So I'm just going to toss them up here. Kind of give them a little shake here, loosen them up here. And look, they're all nicely golden brown in there. It's perfect. We still need to cook them a little bit on the other side, but this is a perfect time for us to start seasoning and adding our shallots. So we've got a little salt, and then of course our giant peppermill pepper. And lastly, I'm going to throw in some shallots. And then, just going to give them a quick toss. Let those shallots cook just a little bit down. Brown just a little bit, not burnt. And those look and smell just about perfect. And I think our pork is almost done too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It smells good? You love Brussels sprouts, don't you? She loves them. I love them too. No, give me.
No, give me.
No, give me. Okay. Come right back. We're gonna slice up the pork. We're gonna plate this up. It should be beautiful. So, give me 1 second. We'll get to it. Okay, here we are. We've got our Brussels sprouts. We've got our apple salad. We've got some toasted hazelnuts that I like adding for a little crunch, a little extra texture, along with the crunch of the apples. And we've got our pork tenderloin here that's been resting for a few minutes. And these garlic cloves that I mentioned earlier, they're nice and soft now, and I peeled them. They're just great little, I don't know, little extra surprises I like. So, got our pork tenderloin here, and now I'm just going to slice up, plate everything up, and we're going to eat dinner pretty soon. So this is how I like pork tenderloin. So this is about a medium rare to medium, more like medium, I think. I'm just going to slice this on the bias here. Nice medallions for us to have for dinner. Lastly, I'm going to take some of that juice. Some of that stock that the pork was in and these garlic cloves. Just put them right over top. So here we are. We've got pork tenderloin, mustard crusted with some Brussels sprouts and this nice chilled apple salad, some toasted hazelnuts. Isla, come here. Come try what we made. Can you believe we made this?
Eat it right now.
Yeah? We'll try it. Get yourself a Brussels sprout. Tell me what you think. Might be a little warm, so careful. Is it good?
Thumbs up.
Nice. Well, thank you so much to Philbrook, and thank you for joining us in our home. Again, I'm Chef Justin Thompson. This is Isla Rose, and this is dinner tonight.